Alright, so I just want you to update. I just want you to get updated on what I'm going through, because there's people speaking with radioactivity and low frequency. They blend themselves in on like TV, like you could be playing like PlayStation, and they'll literally pretend and try to blend in with the actual characters that are actually like in the gameplay and also in the movies, and they blend in with radio, um, and they tap any technology or any constant current, and then they use our bodies as a conductor to use us like a telephone, and they force dreams, they force deja vu, force meant to be's, and force like they try to influence your thoughts. So they'll actually like imply discomfort to your body, and then they'll um, they'll make you feel comfortable while influencing your thought patterns, and then like they'll mess with your algorithm on your timeline once they have you targeted, and then they'll get your surroundings and they'll influence their thought patterns too. It's very amateur shit that they're trying to do, and when I'm speaking to you, they can actually like when they tap your body as usually a conductor, they'll like make you sound like this and that, you know, and they can make you sound exactly like those idiots that are responsible for doing that shit. And you'll notice when you're talking and then like your vocals are being like altered because they're using like some sort of force to do what they're doing, you know. And I haven't even met my mother's husband, and he's in the Marines. I haven't met him. I don't know if he's like has anything to do with that, but he should be investigated, you know. um I don't know if they work behind like labels, because labels would reach out to me on my email, but I don't want to say any names because then people confuse things. It could have been like from a different label, like using another label like as an alias, but they work with stupid ass like feds sometimes, and then I don't know. I can't explain it because we don't like mess with these kind of things, but I just know that radioactivity is, what causes wars out there and confusion out there. When I know, you know, we have 100% partnerships in the definition of the healthy habits in our military, police, border patrol is correction with detainees in building, harvesting, landscaping, caring for the animals, caring for the surroundings, engineer labor work. That's all it is. That's all we do. Training only for obvious healthcare risks. So people won't we all do this for life. That's all the training and education is for life. I don't ever want anybody to forget that, right? Because we come outside and how do we see the obvious problem, if there's any? But now we know how to never see it when we're always doing the right thing, getting along, great relations, being there for one another. And then if somebody has a problem, it'll become the obvious problem because everybody's in accordance and following the rules as should. That's why when you march together as one, right? That's why when you are cleaned and pressed and doing all of these tasks and duties and treating your allies with respect and kindness and making sure they're under healthy living standards. And when you come across every individual, you approach them with kindness, respect, and education and mutual understanding through a job well done. All right? So the reason why I say this stuff is because they could literally target somebody while they're trying to silence somebody, because I'm obviously Mr. Roman from the Bible. And I predicted the pandemic in 2016, and it actually happened in 2020 because God told me very directly. And it's no secret to the whole world who the Romans are. and we branch out and have great partnerships and been established way before anybody was born. So there's literally no reason to be harassing our colleagues in arm reach, because we do not discuss our affairs. We spread the good word and we follow the rules, and we're kind to all, no favorites. And that is how God influenced the world, with the good word. Leading by example, good acts of kindness, always doing a job well done, and educating new life constantly. I just don't want anybody to be out here silenced because they're afraid that we're going to put them on blast, because you shouldn't be entering people's bodies or entering people's heads and trying to mind control them and shit. You can't be doing that. I don't want nobody to be invading my fucking house and then slowly poisoning my family through groceries. Dude, people like will literally like confuse situations, and then they're gonna be out here like inflicting trauma on a troop or our government officials or a family that has nothing to do with it, and then they implement trauma, and then they make it look like they're a helping hand, and then they just blame whatever target that they set for themselves, and then it confuses things, and then it makes it look like that innocent person that had nothing to do with anything. It makes it look like, they're just toxifying this individual's head, and they're just too busy just like always like just talking shit and threatening and shocking people's heads and hearts and threatening people with heart attacks, and then they tamper. So that means if they can tap into anybody's body, they can literally you see it today. There shouldn't be anybody having heart disease or cancer or any of these diseases. It comes down to having healthy animals and having all of their surroundings healthy, because their surroundings, if they're toxified, then the environment's toxified. And if our food and harvest is around a toxified environment, all due to carelessness and misdistributed attention elsewhere where it doesn't matter, then the DNA of the animal and harvest become very poisonous. So that's why when we eat it and consume it, then over time you see people have heart disease, you see us have cancer when we shouldn't. People are living half lives now, and last time I checked, like, everybody's very informed of our service members. We do it for life. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever entertain war or conflict, because that is not even what should be happening. You think you're tough, you think you're intelligent, well, there's somebody way more smarter that didn't need that food for thought, and there's actually a lot of people with great relationships, so they'll take you out like with manpower, and you'll be outnumbered always. All of your trainings, you're just training for situations you'll never see, because every situation is different. So now it's looking like you're creating conflict on a peaceful environment. You're not adapting to today's better day. You're just adapting to your own paranoia and the worst case scenarios, when we already know how to never see shit again. So I'm letting it be known so everybody can be investigated, because I'm not signing no record deal or anybody, because we've been blessing. We've been in movies and spreading the good word, and that was a constant. That's why I'm saying all of this stuff, because I know why every step matters, and now everybody's informed and motivated on, hey, now it makes a lot of sense. I don't want anybody being bought out when, dude, you need your teamwork. You need healthy communication. You need to take the initiative in management and every employee to work together to stay increasing wages every 3 months. Every employee $10, $20 for a guaranteed wage increase every 3 months, so everybody can stay healthy. Even people flipping burgers can stay healthy and remain in a comfortable, healthy living standard. when they're touching our food, when they're out in public. They aspirate, they heal, they aspirate. All right? They aspirate. So if you're not doing that drug, if you're not doing that drug, then it's like you still are directly, because they're aspirating out there, and you want to take care of the unseen narcotics that are harming our children and kids, and that's why the good word is very constant, so you can eliminate even the unseen and educate constantly every single day. You're misdistributing your attention elsewhere when there's no need. Now you're becoming a healthcare risk. Always come back to that right path, and you make sure that you lead a better example for a better tomorrow. It was male dominant. All of our service members was male dominant. Now we have great women partners, that you're going to take care of, along with our young men and young women as well too. Now you build. It gets better and better. Adapt to better today, instead of always training, listening to the dead. Just stop already. We did not treat you like that. We gave you tons of opportunities to travel the world, great relations, tons of opportunity for room to grow and thrive. We're taking you to the space and next spaces past Pluto if necessary and if possible. Nobody's playing games. There's no risk. You follow my rules, because I'm the reason why everybody is breathing, then you're going to be guaranteed a nice, great life. Just like the life you fell for. A nice, big house, right? A fun environment. But you stay with God. God every turn, everywhere. God is good all the time. God every turn. But I don't want anybody to be faked out by somebody that only thinks about themselves or a team. But I don't want to have anybody faked out and they only think about themselves or their team, when great relationships internationally, when shit like this happens, our relationships get to the bottom of it and they know exactly what's going on. Because this is already like way too much time to where, everybody needs their undivided attention for great results. And notice how I'm talking. They're trying to interrupt my speech. You're seeing that. But they never succeed because we stay with God. How embarrassing, man, the things they do. They try to become your family, your partners, and all of that. Because nobody should be involved in that mind control shit. And there's nothing to worry about. If you're innocent, there's nothing to worry about. Clean conscience, great. But if you're guilty, then turn yourself in. Because that shit creates wars. We've already seen platoons think they're better than the rest of the platoons, and then we see bullying. If they don't listen, dude, you're a fucking bitch. These are great men and women coming in that want to provide for their family, that want to make a better place to live for everyone. And that comes with establishing great relationships everywhere, making sure everybody is under healthy living standards. I mean, come on, dude, we're taking you to space and the next planets and the next planets and the next planets in the healthiest way. Enough with your egos that nobody cares. There's another person like you that entertained war and conflict, and they were so fucking confident, they're all fucking torn up on the ground. They were dead before they even hit the land. And there's technology and intelligence beyond your imagination. What did you expect? God made this world? Well, God's gonna damn sure have a great life and a full life here in this world. You're taking life from God? That's why everybody in the world is on this shit. To eliminate it completely. Did you see that? Did you hear that? They talk within, blending in within our original conversations. And then I'm over here playing PlayStation, and then out of nowhere I get shocked in the head, and then they say headshot or some shit, dude. They're fucking idiots, man. I don't fear. I'm the reason why everybody's fucking alive and breathing. They're a fucking bitch. Straight the fuck up. Just focus, alright? Especially people don't play around with somebody heading them in the right direction, not messing around with their lives. And I can't believe some of you that lacked confidence and all they have to say is threats over radio and you don't even know the full subject. No, that's going to become a healthcare risk if you initiate any conflict. You make sure you take care of everybody. You're there for God. God is there for you. Walk with God. Trust God. And I'm 100% partnership with all businesses and endeavors in the world. It's no secret. God is no game and no joke. We do it for life. Not to be conflicting over someone's selfish ways or misunderstanding. What if they're being fucking faked out with the radio and they're threatening them to give them heart attacks or some shit? No more looking up to individuals or teams. You all, every individual is a leader. Now we're all equally employed, equally knowledgeable, equally providing a better example for a better tomorrow. You already know what needs to be done, caring for the animals, ourselves, and our surroundings, constructing, making everything brand new. And every single day, business moves fast, people move fast, we clean. Take out trash. We have to eat every day. They have to replant their foods. Weather comes. Mud, sand, dirt. Constantly clean every day. There's work to be done. And great friendships to have too. Cook, clean, wait, bartend. Keep constant on the good word. It's not even half of it. Some people get jealous for no reason. Some people act in certain ways just for a piece of ass and you don't even know about it. And then we have some fucking idiots team lead and then they notice, one of the recruits has like a pretty girlfriend or whatever and they bully them or they send them out and then they, dude, we don't even understand why people go to the extreme on doing that dumb shit. And then they're over here fucking like befriending like your women and your men and dude, it gets toxic. So just always lead a good example and you always be there for one another and you always, lead the right direction. The people that are made the way for us, they're the ones that, even the toxic ones, dude, they're dying already. They're getting old, they're getting weary, they're going unable. Now they're fighting for their breath, dude. And it's up to us to make sure our peers, our young ones, it's up to us to never start no wars, to never go against one another. Now we have the healthiest way. Now we know what we're working with over time and what obviously is short-lived. All right? So stay focused on the right path. All that shit, all that disease is going to end with us. All right? With us, God came and God is live in the flesh. Every turn, every animal with us. You've heard. You can't fathom or imagine in any way how powerful God is. So you stand for what's right. You be there for one another. And then all that, it's not even fear, it's not even worry, it's not even paranoia, dude. That's your knowledge and God's presence. And that's when every step you're walking with God. That means God is taking control of every step. All you have to do is remain on that right path, making sure everybody is under healthy living standards. Every old car, bring it in, you get a new car. The old cars, you melt it, remodel for new models. Every old road made brand new, every old home made brand new, home line of credit, private funding, public funding, and increasing wages internally on your business, the healthiest manner. Every employee, $10, $20 for a guaranteed wage increase every 3 months. That is the blueprint to unlimited. That's pretty much like saying, hey, print me that money and never stop. And you're hearing it from one of the originals. Alright? And nobody's playing with your lives. You're gonna listen. And you always have. God bless you, because it's God every turn. When I'm talking to you, I'm talking to God. When I'm talking to her, I'm talking to God. Talking to the animals, I'm talking to God. It just makes God very, very angry and furious when we have people send to go aid and to go care for each other, and then we have some idiot and egotistic asshole behind a computer and radio. And what if they're not even the problem? What if they're being faked out by radio and they confuse the situation? Dude, it gets fucking toxic, so ignore all that shit like it's never happening. Stay in the present, stay on that right direction, and you keep doing that right thing. You keep doing all the things that you're needed to do, taking care of God, making sure everybody's great, then the obvious problem will present itself very accurately, without assumptions, without all of that. We don't want anybody's life to be in harm's way anymore. You don't have to be away from your families. Dude, God is good and God cares for you, dude. Everywhere in the world, every race, every culture, dude, God cares for every single individual, dude. We already came a long ways to where now we know what works and now we know what is full of shit. So get to work on that right path. You build, construct, everything made brand new. Always consider, light pollution. So there's a science to it. And also, architecting, where you can have like the water flows in a healthier pattern. And then we need to drink clean water, eat clean food all the time. So if there's a way to refilter after filtering, like to the extreme our water, then let's do that too. And there's a filterization that we could use and put it on the ocean that'll help us, but also because the animals, feces, right? It acts as a fertilizer for the foods and plants there to a certain extent. But you also make sure that those filterizations are near where toxic waste can seep into our oceans from our renewable resources. And then, dude, you guys can scuba dive, police, CIA, FBI, NSA, amongst many other military, border patrol. We have new languages to teach constantly. New life produces extremely rapidly, dude. Extremely rapidly. Like from 1 year to the next, like, oh my goodness. So there's tons of work to be done in that right direction. All right. You bring them in, get them documented, provide job opportunities to clean, to build, harvest, and we remain firm with all the hazardous and lessons learned, just so they know, dude, just so it reaches mutual understanding, it reaches, it builds trust, the right way. That's how you effectively eliminate all crime, when you bring understanding to the situation, and you provide that better opportunity. Everybody always comes out for a home, food, clothes, partner, brand new vehicle. So let's not waste our time. There's labor work to be done, and we get right to it. Now you know how to increase your wages. Dude, you guys are going to be great with that right direction. Your lives are going to be fantastic. You're going to see, now you're going to see yourselves like really becoming extremely beautiful. And why is that? Is because now you have your surroundings up to par, and that's how it should have been. All right? There's no reason for anybody out there to be dusty and not afford a meal on their plate, because that's health risk to you. That means you're a poor leader and you're uneducated. But not anymore. Not coming from one of your 100% partners from the Bible. Now you understand what happened with Jesus Christ, right? Somebody out there was blending in amongst us. And it wasn't even like the Romans, it wasn't even military, it wasn't police, it wasn't nobody, but the people that hid behind us. And all they have to do is just say, oh, it's them and this. But over time, you understand who's full of shit and who isn't. That's how all military and service members understand, oh, it does make sense. Because we together, all of our families, everywhere internationally, created a foundation of helping hands and manpower to make sure our food and consumptions are clean and cared for, and everybody is sheltered and cared for, spreading the good word, constantly teaching new life. And new life keeps on coming, and you're going to be accepting them. You have to put that great value into them. God bless.